Hey, what's up, guys? I am your coach, Yves Fred at yvesfred.com, founder and CEO of Soliciting-Love Foundation at soliciting-love.org. To you guys, again, it might be on time, but it took me a while to do this video again because I need some time for myself. Like, you know what I mean? I'm newly single. I mean, I've been single for a while, but it's like it hit me. Like, some of you guys may know, but I've been in a relationship for about 12 years on and off, and I've been dating other people as well, but I think I'm officially finished with that year, you know what I mean? And yeah, I'm starting to grow out my hair. Obviously you could see, you know what I mean, the little lines. And I'm explaining myself is because I told you guys you're gonna see my journey. You're gonna see my journey as I get better with YouTube, get better in front of the camera. I'm using a mic today because there's been an issue with my voice. Hopefully it does better, and if it doesn't, then we'll figure out different ways. It's a learning process, and I'm not used to being in front of the camera again, but I'm getting better. I'm getting better as I go. Hopefully you guys can hear me a lot better. And yeah, so see through my journey when you see me grow my hair out a little bit, and hopefully my beard connect one day, but you never know. This will be posted the day before Juneteenth, so I decided I want to talk about race. And so you guys don't know, Juneteenth is when slavery was abolished. Yeah, they have a certain date for it, but that's when every single slave was abolished. And I'm not gonna get into what is actually Juneteenth. Do your research. Like, I know there's a show called Blackish. Anthony Anderson explains what is actually Juneteenth, so I recommend watching that. Yeah, and technically I'm gonna let you guys know when I recorded this. So this is the day after they announced guilty for Derek Chauvin, the guy who murdered George Floyd. I don't know, because I was gonna say, am I happy or am I sad, am I frustrated or whatever. I was trying to give a definition emotion, but I have no emotions towards it because I'm glad justice was served, but at the end of the day, it's one out of so many lives. And that same day that verdict came out, a young lady, 15-year-old young lady, got shot by a police officer, and she called the police because she was about to get jumped. And I don't know the full story yet. I still don't know the full details. It's hard. Like, I literally had to talk to my therapist about this, because most of us, but I'm gonna speak based on myself, we sometimes feel like we have to suffer from imposter syndrome. And it's like our parents and society tells us, hey, being black, our society tells us that if we follow the rules and we do the right thing, nothing should happen. That is not 100% true. and I literally try to live that every day, and that is not, and I wish it were, but it's not true. It's not true, and it sucks. And I'm not saying all police officers are bad. That's not true. And I'm not saying they're all good, because we obviously know that's not true. But it sucks that they see our skin as a weapon, because how many Caucasian white people get arrested and they have guns on them? They just did a mass shootings and they have guns on them, and they get arrested and they're fine. I barely see them even get beat up, but a black person is unarmed, he gets shot and killed. A 15-year-old girl called the cop for help and she got killed. Like, you know what I mean? It's like our skin automatically feels like we're a target, and we're just trying to live. And it's not our race, it's not our fault, it's society. It's like we were born to survive. It's not because our parents told us to. It's not because of trauma. We're born to survive because we're always seen as a target, and it sucks. There's certain things I can't do that other people can, and it sucks. You know what I mean? And it is what it is. And then if you are a good, let's just say, quote unquote black person, if you are the nicest person in the world, if you are intuitive with people and kind and loving, people treat you like you up to something, like you have a plan, like there's a reason why you acting this way, when you're just really acting like yourself. And I'm talking to my therapist, I'm like, there was a situation that happened and I handled it well. I absolutely handled it well. Like, I make sure everything was good, everything was right, everything was on point. Like, I'm proud of myself how I handled it. But when I got home, overthinking what happened to them, I was like, oh shit, I was, excuse my language, but I was low-key set up, and I didn't even notice. And we talked about it, we had that conversation, and it wasn't the problem that I was low-key set up. I'm not upset about that. I'm upset that I'm thinking that way. You see what I'm saying? Like, it went well. I mean, there was a lot of controversies that happened. I'm not gonna get into it. It went well. I handled myself right. I was on point, and let's just say if I was being tested, I passed with it flying colors. But at the end of the day, it's just, I don't want to feel as if I'm being watched. I don't want to feel as if I'm being, like, people are questioning my character, my morals, my values. And my therapist said it sucks, but this is the world we live in. And it was uncomfortable at first. Like, I recommend people, if you never done therapy, to try therapy. Find out who you good with. I told myself I need a black therapist because they understand me. I actually have a white therapist. She's a female, and she's an interracial relationship, but she understands me, and I've been dealing with her for about maybe 4 years, maybe more than that, I'm not sure. And yeah, and most of our conversation is not about my healing process, and it's not about like what's going on internally. It's more about how to react to the world. How to react, because I understand why my people is angry. I completely understand, and we have the right to be angry. And I see a lot of quotes saying that just be glad we're asking for equality and not revenge. We don't want revenge, we just want respect. You know what I mean? And she's like, she literally told me, like, you want to live like a white man in this country, and it sucks. And I was like, wait, time out. Like, I went on defense mode. I was like, I'm not trying to be no white man. You know what I mean? But I understand her analogy. And she's like, I really want to live like people would judge me based on who I am on the inside, except for what they see on the outside, the color of my skin. And she literally said, if you try to fight that, that's like committing suicide. It's true. Look at Martin Luther King. Look at Malcolm X. Look at my great heroes. Not Harriet Tubman, but like, you know what I mean? Look at my great heroes. And if you fighting for the cause, Van Hamilton, so there's more people, but if you fighting for the cause, it's like you seek as an enemy of the United States, and you're really not. You know, I don't know the specific quote, but James Baldwin said it. I love this country. I don't know the quote, but it's like he says he loves this country. He's allowed to criticize her as much as possible because how much he loves the country. Pretty much, research the quote, but pretty much he's saying that if I love something, I'm allowed to criticize it. Black people, we love our country. We love the country. We rep everywhere we come from. That's where, if you're born American, I'm American, but my nationality is Haitian. But I love this country. I do. There's a lot of opportunities that I have here that I couldn't find in Haiti. But at the end of the day, I still want to be treated as a human being, and it sucks. It sucks that we're profiled, and I don't know if it's the cops. I mean, it's definitely the cop fault, but I don't know if it's 100% the cop fault. I honestly, police officers, I should say. I honestly think it's the media. How the media is. I remember when DMX died, and the Queen's husband died. Prince Philip, I think that's his name. He died. Mind you, if you know Prince history, he was part of the Nazi and shit like that. Do your research. Like, watch. You know what I mean? He's probably a better person now. I don't know. I'm not trying to. It's not really necessarily about him. It's pretty much what America portrayed on the news. Fellow prince, whatever, and then on the other side is like, you know what I mean, crop pictures, it says troubled rapper, and DMX was troubled, yes, but they didn't have to put that because the prince was troubled as well. The prince has a history. Everyone has a history. Technically, the more mistakes you make, the better you are. I made a lot of mistakes. I made a horrible decisions. I am good. I am pure right now and a good person inside because I've done a lot of things. It may not be no effed up situation, but I've done a lot of things that causes my anger. That's why I choose to be happy. Like, I put a quote, is like, so many people in this world or chasing after happiness instead of actually choosing happiness. Because when you chase after happiness, you choose what you think is happiness. Like people chase after money because they feel like, you know what I mean? They feel like, oh, I'm happier if I get a lot of money, but money buys you options. It doesn't really buy you happiness. And mind you, sometimes the options are better. Yes, I get that. But if you're unhappy inside, you'll always be unhappy no matter how much money you have or how much wealth you have. You still be unhappy. And my whole thing is choosing happiness, choosing life. Life is supposed to be happy, and it's supposed to give you challenges. I hate when people say difficult, because I sometimes say it too. It's not supposed to be difficult, it's supposed to be challenging, because it helps you to learn. Like, we're humans, we're supposed to learn. If you're not learning every single day, you're miserable. If you're not changing something about yourself, you're miserable. We have to grow. We have to be ourselves more. We have to learn. We have to, even if I read all the time, but I read every Saturday actually, but I read, but not to educate myself, to read people's struggles, how people went through, because I'm learning lessons. A wise man learns from other people's mistakes. A smart person learns from their mistakes. I'm smart and I'm wise as well, because majority of my books, I have Kevin Hart. I can't make this up. Very good book. This is the third time I'm reading this. Around My Way Girl, Charlemagne by Taraji P. Henson. Black Privilege by Charlemagne the God. I read his other book as well, Anxiety Played Tricks on Me. I forgot what it is, but it's by Charlemagne. It's really good. I read those books once and I'm going to read it again. Rick Ross, Hurricanes. Valerie Garrett, Finding My Voice. These are just books I have. I have a bunch of books right here, and I'm trying to name some of them, like Steve Jobs. And I read a lot of audiobooks by President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama. I read her book first, actually. And Obama book is long. I haven't finished it, but it's long. He actually got me into Valerie Garrett to read her book, Finding My Voice. There's a lot of books I read. 50 Cent's book. Like, I read different genres. I read different shades. And when I mean learn, I don't mean educate yourself. Like learn a craft or something. I meant learn cultures. Learn human beings. Like, when people have a conversation with me, they're like, oh my gosh, you're so smart, you're so intelligent. I feel like I'm not. I mean, yes, we are smart in our own way, yes, but I feel like I'm not, because I've learned cultures. I like to learn other people's culture. I like to understand other people's, especially if we really have a different mindset. I really like to learn. I want to know how you think that, because maybe your way is a different way and it's better. I don't know. I like to steal good things. I like to steal good ideas, but not like in the say of copy your work. But if we're doing the same job and your way is easy, I'm gonna do it your way. You know what I mean? If your way is easy, I'm gonna do it your way, but mixing with my way, because obviously we all different and we all do things differently. But I digress. Let's go back to Black Lives Matter again. This world needs to change, and I can't stand how people say how it used to be, because it's getting better. And why I say it's getting better, and it feels like it's getting worse, but it's actually getting better, because we're finally opening our eyes. We're finally seeing the injustice. We're finally seeing the craziness in our world. Everybody's like, oh, it's getting worse, it's getting worse. Not really. Sometimes, like Barack Obama says, it has to get worse before it gets better. So technically it's getting better, and it will. And I feel like I keep telling people, like, millenniums are going to change the world, and Generation Z is going to follow right after, because we're going to change the world for Generation Z and the generation after them, you know what I mean? And then we're going to keep changing, because our generation before has changed the world. It's because of the Martin Luther King, it's because of Tamika Mallory, it's because of Sean King, it's because of our great leaders. And if you want to go before him, before them, Jesse Jackson, you go for Martin Luther King, you go for Malcolm X, you go for Bayard, James Baldwin, Maya Angelou, Langston Hughes. You could go so many people behind us, because if it wasn't for this, we wouldn't be here. The verdict wouldn't be guilty if it wasn't for them. Now we have to make it a little bit better, and until we get equality, we won't have it.